Welcome back to From the Source podcast. This is episode 34, and today we're going to be discussing training volume. And we've been given really a question of, do I need to work out every day? So we're going to give you our thoughts, our opinions, and then if you think anything different, you can maybe leave us a comment. So really, we want to start with how often we both work out, because we probably have a similar schedule in terms of gym and running, but we're individual different people, so it's probably a slightly different. So do you want to start? Training week, training volume?
Probably, well, more than likely, most weeks is 6 times a week I would train. 3 or 4 running days out of that. And then 2 like engine-y type workouts, maybe 3 a week at the gym. So one of the days probably it's like a double day of run and like say lift weights, if you will. And that's kind of what I try and really stick to. It just gives me something to like, I know what I'm going to do each week. So yeah, it's probably, depends if we're training for like high rocks and stuff like we are now, or like the coast to coast, it was like probably more running to weight. So even like 5 times a week running.
Yeah, so depending on what you're training for, your training slightly adjusts, but it'd probably still be 6 times a week.
Yeah, it'd still be 6, yeah.
You'd never do I always think of training like it is a week, but it can be longer. So let's say I can't train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for whatever reason. Then now my week would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and it's still like days. So 6 days in a row or 6 days in a week you're training. I'd say I'm the same. I'd say I'd probably do like 3 to 4 CrossFit weights, even like an engine workout, 3 to 4 of them, at least 1 or 2 runs per week. And then I'd always prioritize, like, I need at least 1 day off, like complete day off, not doing anything that's gonna like impact my muscles or my like cardiovascular endurance.
Yeah,
so I might
like
go for a walk or something.
Yeah.
And people call it like active recovery, don't they? But it's like you're just having a rest day.
Yeah, you've got to move because you're probably sore on that rest day, but sitting around, you'll just tighten up and hurt more.
Yeah.
So it's still good to actually walk around. But yeah, you do more CrossFit than I do. I don't.
Well, at our gym, we've got at the gym we go to, Cane Training, we've got engine classes, which are like a high rocks.
Yeah.
And then we've got CrossFit classes, which are obviously CrossFit, weightlifting, gymnastics and stuff. So I do really enjoy the CrossFit sessions, but then the engine sessions are ultimately like what you need for a high rocks. You don't need CrossFit. High rocks is not CrossFit.
Yeah.
So you don't need that.
I was just thinking, like, because I rarely, like, throughout a week will pick up a barbell. Do you know, like, in like CrossFit cycle sessions, I rarely do that. It's more like dumbbell stuff or like literally more high roxy stuff. But then if it comes up on the odd like Saturday engine class, then I can lift the barbells.
Yeah,
but
it's annoying.
It's not like to save like one of the engine classes has like butterfly pull-ups. I'm like, oh fucking hell, I've got to get there at least 10 minutes early to try and like tell my brain how to do it. I just don't do it. So that stuff like that I don't do enough of, like toes to bar. It's the swinging motion that I have to remind my brain to. I mean, I can do them, but it's like
muscle memory. Isn't it?
I don't do it enough to be ridiculously good at it. I could do like 5 to 10 reps in one set of toes to bar.
It's annoying though, because I go CrossFit like at least 3 times a week, like lifting weights, Olympic lifting and stuff like that. And then you don't do that at all. And then we'll be in like a competition or something and it'll be like max clean. Literally, that's what happened. And
that workout.
You're lifting heavier than me, yet I do it 3 times a week. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, I've done this. Like, I think I did like 100 like last year. 110 sound right, great. I'm struggling
Yeah.
on 90.
That was funny, that actually, yeah. But I don't know. But then it's still it'd probably be annoying for like me on some engine class. I think, God, fucking hell, you've not done like a proper engine class in 2 weeks, and you come and like absolutely beast me.
Yeah, what's the word where it's like you do engine and running and like dumbbell lifting and stuff, but that applies when you get to like a barbell as well. It's called like cross. I don't know the word, but basically your training also helps doing the stuff that,
Yeah,
lifting a
know.
barbell. It's like you're still building muscle and you're still using your strength, but in a different area, but it can apply to other areas too.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I can't, because I was just thinking, because like when I was, say, even like a few years ago, do you get the bodybuilders that obviously say are just doing bicep curls to get bigger biceps but also get stronger,
Yeah.
and then they would like say judge you and be like, oh, you can't bicep curl that because you don't like specifically train biceps.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
say doing a clean, like say pick a clean,
Yeah,
or even
you
like
clean,
pull-ups,
yeah. You still,
I'm strengthening my arms.
yeah,
So just because I don't do that direct thing, I'll still be
yeah.
strong enough to do
It
it.
makes me think of them videos, you'll have seen them, where it's like, do you want triceps like this? Do this.
Yeah,
And it's like doing a different movement can actually strengthen like another movement. Doing a clean could help you be able to do, I don't know, a muscle up, because it's like the opposite way. Do you know what I mean? You're still
Yeah.
doing that.
and like a toaster bar is like, some of it's quite latty if you're trying to push yourself away from the bar, obviously, to get your legs up. So you're strengthening your lats, your
Yeah.
grip strength.
Yeah.
So then when I do farmers carries, I've still got good grip strength, even though I've not like, what's that thing, the boxes or whatever, the clamp thing.
the clip.
People say like you get like strong forearms from doing that, but actually holding onto a barbell for 5 minutes
Oh yeah.
is going to get you strong. So I don't know, it works itself out, but you could also catch people on a bad day.
Yeah. And I think that's the interesting thing. So like, let's say you're training 6 times a week and I'm training 6 times a week, but you're doing 3 runs and 2 engines and I'm doing 3 CrossFits and 2 runs. Like, we're going to meet in the middle at High Rocks and we're going to train 4 High Rocks together, but we're training separately as well. But they just, it's like a nice meeting point. Like we're still physically fit enough to do this High Rocks together at a very similar level. And then as it gets closer to High Rocks, like now, you start prioritizing running and the engine stuff, and actually like High Rock simulations and the certain exercises and stuff.
The compromised, I think probably for the next, what is it, like less than 4 weeks now, isn't it? Like 3 and a bit. It's just going to have to be more compromised type workouts that we do together or separately.
Yeah.
Just to get you, because you've trained up to High Rocks now and you've done like strength sessions and running sessions. Now you need to like tell your brain to combine them, because on the day that's what it's going to be, is more compromised stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what we've just got to do now. So it's just a blend of both of them now.
And it's weird, isn't it? Because as you get closer to a race or a competition or anything, you introduce like a taper. So obviously we're talking at the minute about should someone work out every day, or how often should someone work out? And if you're training for something, everybody's different. But as you get closer to that event or race, if that's what you're doing, in that last week, you kind of taper off and you don't do as much as you did.
Yeah, everyone does the same.
Because you need that recovery and you need to be fresh on the day.
And also if you're doing High Rocks on Saturday and then you're like still doing fast tempo runs on the Thursday, one, it's not going to matter. Like your body's not going to be like, 2 days, it's like revising for an exam, like on the day.
Yeah.
There's no point. It's not going to go in.
Yeah.
So you might as well like, recover your body as best you can. Like it's just long, slow runs, or not even long.
Yeah.
Just keep the body ticking over, stretching, like, making sure your nutrition's like bob on for that week.
And that taper that you do, so that reduced training schedule that you introduce maybe like in the last 2 weeks or the last week of your training, up to an event is like it's like a mirror of what everyone should do weekly. Like you should have time for recovery, and some people need, I don't know, 1 day, and some people need like 3 days to recover because your body's different, you know.
Yeah, but it also depends on like what workouts you've done that week, because each week is not. So like obviously I've got like the 4 set running days, and each day is like I try and do like long slow run or longish slow run, tempo run, interval run, and then kind of a blend of both of them. But say my tempo runs isn't the same distance every time. It's also not the same intensity every time.
Yeah.
So some weeks are going to be like more brutal than the other. So that week it might take me longer to recover, but probably with training and better recovery, you wouldn't need like say 3 days off every time.
Yeah, like when we were training for the charity run that we did, I would do like a long run on a Sunday, let's say, but I'd reduce my training before that run and after that run. So let's say I've ran 30K. Maybe like 3 days before, I'll stop going to the gym and I'll just rest. And then 3 days after, I'll go to the gym. But that 6-day period is now my recovery, because I need to recover before the run and after the run. So that week, I wouldn't do 6 sessions, I'd do 2. But the week after, I might not be training that hard. It might be a deload week at the gym. So I'm not going to be pushing myself that hard. And it's just a nice, easy session. And I might go every day because I can go 7 days a week if I'm not doing that, you know.
Yeah, because you could do like five like low to medium sessions in a week. If it was like say like those, I call them like the mental workouts that I do for high rocks training. It's like it's not mad intensity, but you're working out for like 60 to 80 minutes solid, so it's getting your body used to it. So those weeks you could actually just do 3 or 4 of them, 5 of them, because it's not like exerting a lot on your body. But you couldn't probably do like 30K every 3 days.
No, oh my God, no.
Unless you were training for something mental.
Unless you were training for like an ultra and you needed to do it, but it's not going to be beneficial for your body, I don't think, exerting that much force and energy into, you know.
But if you're training for an ultra and doing 30K every 3 days or every 4 days, you're also not doing like an intense fucking CrossFit workout or
as well
a high rocks workout or anything. It's just running. That's literally what you're going to do, is just run.
And it's an interesting question. Like, how often do I need to work out every day? Because you've just made me think then, like, it depends on what you are actually doing. Because if, let's say you are a middle-aged man and you're not asked about the gym, and you go and run on the treadmill for 10 minutes and then you go and do some bicep curls and then you go home, you could go to the gym like 4 times a day, every day, and you're still going to be able to do it tomorrow because you've done hardly anything.
Yeah, your heart rate's probably not gone over 100.
Yeah, you've burnt 50 calories and you feel absolutely fine.
Yeah, I think that's like a case of just keeping yourself ticking over. That's just, managing your weight, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the classic
It's like those people you hear about who like every day they do a run, but like they run for 10 minutes. And like for some people, running for 10 minutes could be really, really hard. You're running really, really fast and it's very tough. For other people, like a 10-minute jog, you could do that morning, afternoon and nighttime every day for the rest of your life, and you're never going to feel sore. Well, I reckon you could do a 20-minute run every single day. You wouldn't feel sore at all.
I was just thinking I probably could do 5K every day.
Yeah, and you wouldn't, like I did 10K yesterday, slow pace, and my legs were absolutely fine. I could have gone to the gym, but if I went harder and faster on that run, I wouldn't have been able to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was maybe going to try my best not to discredit those people that do the challenges of like, I'm going to run 5K a day for a month, for charity and fair play. But it's not, if you're just going to run 5K with no like, I've got to do them around 20 minutes each time, it's It's not that bad.
Yeah, like is your 5K taking you 60 minutes or is it taking you 20 minutes?
Yeah.
There now depends on who you are and what your fitness level is or what your running level is. Because for some people, a 40-minute 5K is them actually pushing themselves, the heart rate's up. But for other people, you know, how long would it take you to do a slow 5K? Like how slow could you do a 5K running?
30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I see. And that's some people's PB.
Like, yeah. I was just thinking like an easy 6 minute.
Like
I'd be fucking bored. Stiff.
if you were doing a 5K and you were just jogging, like you could probably get to like you said, a 30 to 40 minute 5K. But it's tough running that slow. And that's not like,
hurts. Yeah, no, it's not like to
not-
discredit people.
yeah, it's not us taking the piss out of people.
It actually hurts my legs.
It's hard to run slow, and everyone knows it. It's hard to run slow.
Because my body naturally wants to like have a decent stride length. But I know every time I take a decent stride, when I put my foot down, I've got to like kind of brake to slow myself down. So
It starts to hurt your calves and to run that slow.
I go out running and I don't look at my watch. I probably know I'm running for like 5:20.
You don't even wear a watch.
No, I don't, not now. But no, I do now. I charge it. But I reckon it definitely is around 5:20. I don't even have to look.
Yeah, you know what feels good, and it's really hard to run slow, but that's why people shouldn't compare themselves. So like, if someone then listened to that and was like, hang on a minute, I run a 35-minute 5K and that's me really trying, like, that's totally different.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is like, if you're not trying and you're not sweating and you're not breathing heavy and your heart rate's low, like, you could do that. I could do that every day for the rest of my life, and I could still go and do like a really hard engine class every night, CrossFit style, high rocks, and not feel sore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's relative to the person, I think. But I was just thinking, do we not know someone who did a challenge? It was like the date of every month was the distance.
Oh yeah, Austin.
So like day 1 was 1K and then day 30 was 30K.
Yeah.
And that's like a ridiculous challenge when you think about it, because like there's like day 20, 20K, 21K,
And it's like
22K.
It's like the last back end, like from 25 to 31, if there's 31 days.
Even 20 onwards is like the amount of kilometers you've ran in the last 10 days of that month.
Yeah, that was big. That
That's
was a good challenge.
That's a proper hard challenge, that, because that's like painful. It's all mental.
Yeah, that back end, 20 to 30, like you said. And if you pick a month where there's 31 days, that's even worse.
Yeah, you're doing like 100K
I
in
do
the last 4
February.
days.
February for me, 28 days.
I do the first week of every month. What that?
The other thing is, when people think about how often they should be training, is how it impacts your life outside of the gym. And that's an interesting topic, because some people don't have a life outside of the gym. Other people have a life outside of the gym, and that's got to like balance itself out with family, friends, hobbies. Like if you said, right, we've got to do 6 days a week high rocks training, and and you couldn't go snooker, and like you can't do anything else, it's a bit like, well, I'm not going to enjoy it now.
Yeah, you will definitely start to hate it.
Yeah,
because it is impacting. Like if you're arguing with your parents because you don't see them a lot because you're always out running and you don't have any hobbies or any social life, it'll just eat away at you.
Yeah, because it's not just about you. It can impact you. Like you said, it can impact your parents, your relationships. If you're a person that's like, I'm running this, doesn't matter, this is my schedule, it's like 50% is good for you. You're prioritizing your health, and that's really good. And the other 50% is, what a selfish prick. What about everyone else?
Yeah, I think if your goal was to say, I'm definitely going to run or exercise 6 times a week, nothing else is kind of getting in my way, I'd probably say maybe you can just run or exercise at a time that isn't the common time that everyone wants to see you in.
Yeah.
Like, go running at 6 a.m. Like, your parents aren't going to want to see you at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's
Like,
and that's
pick better times.
that's a nice balance of I'm prioritizing my health, but I care about everyone else too. Because I'm just thinking about Nick Bear. We've just been talking about Nick Bear, and he is if you don't know who he is, he's a YouTuber. Like, he's a
Supplement
you've
brand.
got to know who he is.
Yeah, he's a fucking machine.
That's the phone that we
Yeah.
said wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Nick Bear gets up at 4:30 and he runs like 8 to 10 miles at 4:30 a.m. But if he then said, I'm going to do it at 4 p.m., well, that's going to impact his wife, his kids, just his business. So he prioritizes that time. You can't just be selfish and say, I'm running 20K, 3 times a week, and I'm going to do it at this time and nothing's going to get in the way.
Yeah, you can't be a bit of a shit conversation with his wife, wouldn't it? Like, I'm running at 4 p.m. You sort the kids. You sort
Can you put the
tea,
kids
you
up?
do.
No, I'm doing 20K.
Yeah. Oh, right. So I've got to do this every day.
Yeah.
Which is basically like he's saying to his wife, like, that is your commitment now. I'm forcing you a commitment on you.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm running, you've got to pick the kids up.
And that's not how any relationship, friendship works. It's got to be mutual. It doesn't always have to be 50-50, but at some point it will be 50-50.
It's just balance. If I was doing that, I would be like, every day you're going out and going, oh, I'm getting my runs in. But there'd be some days where I'd actually not be able to focus on the times or the run because I'm thinking, oh, I actually feel bad about like just forcing that on them and stuff like that.
I was thinking about when I did my marathon, I had to get my running every week, and I didn't train as hard as I should have, but I just did like one long run a week, and like that run would be on a Sunday, but sometimes things would come up on a Sunday and I would be like, I can't because I've got my run, and I'd feel bad, and I'd be on the run and I'd be thinking, why have I done that? But then it's still that 50-50 of, no, I still need to put this as a priority, but I could have probably done it early this morning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But then I don't like running early in the morning because I want the fuel. I want to be feeling like I've had a lot of food and energy and carbs and then do my run.
But it's just sacrifice. So you run later at night then. But then you could probably maybe not perform late at night because you've had a full day of food and
it's maybe
chilled
more
out.
like just don't do it on the same, exactly this. You don't impact your friends and your family or, whatever it is you work consistently.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to miss out on things. That's fine, but not all the time. I'm just thinking, imagine if you were like, do you want to go out for a beer? And I was like, no, I'm doing High Rocks. And then like next month you were like, do you want to go out for a beer? And I'm like, no, I'm doing High Rocks.
Yeah.
And like, it's not to say that I could say, oh yeah, well, yeah, I'll come, but I'm not going to drink. Or I can't this month, but next month I'll come,
Or sometimes you just, that day you're going to do a long run and you think, oh, like, I can't, like mum and dad are going mental that I said I was going to go out. So you change the run and that day's like you saw me this week, it's just, that turned into like a quick interval tempo type run.
Yeah.
It's just 30 minutes of just hard work, get it done.
You mix and match.
And maybe, I didn't do my long run that day. So you do it another day when, it's not going to impact anyone's day. It's just picking and choosing your battles, I think, sometimes. I think if you've got it all in your mind, all this on your mind, it affects your running, it affects your training.
It's also what we've talked about before of most people are not an athlete. Like, you're not an elite athlete. You're not going to win the race. You're not going to, so it's like, stop treating your life like you are this like Olympic athlete. Like, if you don't get that running on Sunday morning, but you get it in on Tuesday night, the world's not going to end and you're not going to die and you're not going to like fail. But you still should prioritize your training. You just shouldn't let your training overtake your life, like take over your life.
Yeah, because I mean, even doing it 3 days later than what you should have, one, your body doesn't know you were going to do that anyway, and two, if you have a high rocks block of like 8 weeks, that's what, like 56 days.
Yeah.
Is that, 56 days, and you were meant to train like 80% of those 56 days. If you still, I don't know what that is off the top of my head, I'd say it's like 40 days. If you still train 40 days, you've still got all the training days you're having.
Yeah.
So there is room for flexibility. You can do a double session one day if you want. So
it's just some people are very regimented, and I can see that. But life is not regimented. Life,
No.
Let's say that you go to work at 9 a.m. every day, but then on one day your car breaks down. You're not going to be there for 9, but you don't then like start sprinting to work to make it. Like you just accept that you're going to be late, and it's like training. You've got your training schedule, but then if the gym's closed because there's a leak, like, oh dear, I can't go. That's fine. The world doesn't end.
Yeah, but for some people, it fucking would. They'd like be freaking out.
Yeah,
going like, oh.
And then that's not. It's hard, isn't it? Because maybe some people are like that because they need life to be like that. Maybe like mentally they're not. Like mental health and stuff, they're not. They need that gym session. But I'd say that's not a very healthy way to live.
No, it's like an obsessive.
You've got to be adaptable.
Yeah.
Haven't you? It's like, for example, right? Let's say we say Sunday morning we're doing high rocks. We need to train for it. Then on Sunday morning I would text you, I'm not very well, mate. I'm not going to make it. You then don't go, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
you just go, oh, I hope you're all right.
Yeah.
You'd probably say, do you want me to bring you a coffee or something?
Yeah. And then I can still train.
Yeah.
So, because what's to say that in 4 weeks' time I don't get ill?
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, then you can now train, catch up that. Or like, I was thinking when we first set out with filming the podcast and stuff, we said every Monday, like evening, we'd film the podcast.
Yeah.
We did pretty well.
We did a solid 3 months.
Like proper. But then now it's just turned into,
when are you free this week?
One day every week, we have to just agree to film on one day. And it's got to be before the Monday that we're going to release the podcast on.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Because life happens. So you get other things in the way, and you try your best to keep everything scheduled. And then sometimes you've got to be like, actually, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But if you don't let that happen with your training, you end up like, I'm just thinking now, if we said for high rocks, you've got to train 6 times a week, this is the schedule, you have to do it, very quickly that training wouldn't be fun anymore, would it? So like when we go and train, we have a laugh, like it's fun, we enjoy it. You don't really feel like you're training, you just feel like you're with your mate, you're working out, you're enjoying it, you leave, you go home.
Yeah.
But if we were so strict with it, you'd be like, oh man, I've got to go this, but I've also got this, and I'm going to have to let someone down. It doesn't make it fun anymore.
I'm not I was going to say I'm not a massively serious person. I'm not like a serious person. I like to have a joke. So if I know we're training on a Sunday at High Rocks, and it's like, this has got to be a good session because, High Rocks in a lot less than 4 weeks. But if we're doing like intervals and it's like a 1 minute rest and we literally don't start on the minute, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, like, this, let's just fuck it off, right? You're not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Like, you're taking the piss. Like,
do you know what I'm thinking of? When you're in High Rocks and you're running and someone stops in front of you, but then I've seen it happen and some people are like, move.
Yeah.
But it's like, mate, you're running like, you're going to finish in 1 hour 30. Do you know what I mean? Like, sure.
Yeah, they're not elite runners, but I don't know, if you've got like a goal in your mind and then someone repeatedly kept getting in your way.
It's always a balance, isn't it? Of, you've still got your goal, and for us training, you've still got to get that training. It's got to be hard. You've got to push yourself. Like, I wouldn't want to go training with you and you're not trying and you're slowing us down when I know you can do more. But you've got to push yourself. But then at the same time, we're not the Jake Deardens and stuff, like, we're not them. but we're still going to be smashing it for us.
Mm.
So we'd rather enjoy it, have fun, have a laugh, but also go as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah, because I mean, like High Rocks in Birmingham for us is like it's a night away, it's a trip out, it's a good day out.
But he was going to say it's a night out. It's a night
Yeah,
out.
fucking night
We'll
out.
be in the club. We'll be in VIP.
And then just rock up, yeah. But it's all of that. But then on the day, slightly serious that I want to do well. Like, there's no point putting 8-10 weeks worth of training and then just like coasting it. I do get that, but also I can't imagine you're going to be like, right, it's our start time. Let's get there. Let's warm up. Like, family have come to support you. Just fuck all them off.
Yeah,
it's like, today we're going to do this. 'Cause at the end of the day, it's not our full-time job. But if it was our full-time job and you like Jake did and stuff like that, then I would expect other people to understand that this is my job. This is like my life now.
Yeah. It's like
I'm taking it seriously.
Like work.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, some people that are like us in a similar position to us treat it like work, whereas we treat it like, I enjoy this, I want to do well at this, but it's not my job. We're not gonna hate ourselves if we screw up, but we'll just be a bit deflated.
Yeah, and it doesn't give us any form of income, so I'm not going to kill myself over it.
Yeah,
but I also want to.
You want to do well.
You want to do well, but yeah, if it, like, we want to get that hour, around that hour mark, and if it, like I've said the whole time, I'll be annoyed for about 5-10 minutes, and then I'll be like, fucking hell, it's still a decent time now.
Yeah,
like
exactly. It's just one of them things where you don't want to ever let your training or your fitness impact your like outlook on life, like your happiness and stuff like that, when it doesn't need to. So we want to go sub 60 at High Rocks, and if we get sub 60, we'll be buzzing. And if we get not sub 60, then next time we do a High Rocks, we'll go for sub 60, but we'll still be fed up and upset. But it's all about, like, we've enjoyed every moment building up to it. We've enjoyed the race. We've pushed ourselves. And then maybe we were a bit too, I don't know. I think we'll do it, to be honest. But if we didn't, it's not like everything we've done is a waste of time.
Yeah, and I've let my sponsors and my family down and all that look like. Fucking...
Now Red Bull are never going to sponsor
us.
us.
Yeah. Oh, Puma, no. Like, if I get the deal, I get the deal, but it doesn't matter.
And it's the same on a level of, if you're just a person who just goes to the gym like 3 times a week and that's it, you don't do any competitions, you just go on the treadmill a little bit, like, you should be thinking, what's your goal? Like, should I be going 3 times a week? Could I push it to 4? Or is 3 enough? Like, does your body ache? And your body shouldn't really ache if you do it enough. But you should feel, I reckon, if you go to the gym, you should feel like you've accomplished something. You've put your body through a good session.
Yeah, I was going to say, pat yourself on the back and actually enjoy it and acknowledge it. Don't like keep criticizing yourself. Oh, I should be going 5 because someone I've watched on Instagram goes 5 who looks like me.
Yeah,
like they might go 5 because they don't have a job.
Yeah, like, exactly. They might go 5 because they hate the husband. Or,
no, there's a whole mixture of things. But that's a rabbit hole of social media changes things. But
that's the next episode.
Yeah, no.
Right. Thanks for listening. If you are not yet following us on Instagram, then please do. Or if you're not subscribing on YouTube, then please do. It helps us. And leave us a comment. Let us know how often you train and what kind of training you do. And then just a reminder that we're going to be doing High Rocks on the 26th of October, the Sunday in Birmingham. So if you are doing Birmingham High Rocks, please let us know. We're going to grab you to make some content with you if you fancy being in an episode. I think that's it.
That's it, yeah.
We'll see you in the next one.
See you on the next one.